All right, there's nothing worse than an unboxing video, but I'm going to go ahead and just show you real quick what you get when you get one of these shipped to you, and then we're going to open it up real quick off camera and then bring you back in. So hang on. So real quick, I noticed that this was kind of worn through. You can get a little bit of damage because this thing came from a long ways away. If you wanted one locally made, of course, it probably cost you 10 times the value. I know when people say first impressions, that just bugs me too. But this is pretty neat. It comes with a lock. Maybe they throw this in for me just because it was me. But that is really cool. And the light. I think all this comes with it though, because it was in the same box. Very cool. Comes with a lock. Wow. And about a gazillion zip ties. Let's get all these off here. Yeah, and some of you guys probably think it's going to come assembled. You know, if you want that, you're going to have to go to the local bike shop and then have them do a tune-up and all that stuff. And of course, you pay for that stuff. You know, you don't get it for free. Well, I got to say, for a fat tire wheel, that's pretty lightweight, and it does have a really big disc on it right here. It's very large. And how's that for marketing? That's cool. Wait, there's something in here. Hold on. It'd help if I take the plastic out, right? You know, I gotta say, for a complimentary hat, it's actually not bad. And I gotta say, guys, this thing comes pretty well assembled. I bought 2 other e-bikes, and man, it was a lot more work than this one to put together. Of course, they're different e-bikes. You know, there's different bikes for different purposes. And this one here is really like an awesome commuter bike. So we'll talk about this stuff a little bit later here in the video, and check it out a little more. All I really need to do now is just put the bars on in the front wheel and the front fender, and there's the dog. Look at him. God, he looks so dirty. Oh boy. Mom's gonna be upset. That's not gonna go well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. It's basically 4 bolts. Put the bars on. This little guy here. Put the front fender on. Here's these little things here. It's like a no-brainer. We got 2 down there for the front fender, and this one for the top of it. Fenders are plastic, but you know, again, some of you guys might be taking those off to save a little weight. They're really not heavy, but it is kind of nice. When you're riding back and forth to work, it is a good idea to have fenders. So they are plastic. Feels like pretty good quality plastic. There's different grades of that stuff. I noticed this got a little bit damaged. You know, don't expect to get the thing, you know, coming to you in, you know, from the overseas, and then come to America, and then, you know, from this warehouse to you and not have any damage at all. It's going to have something. Okay, just expect that. So we've got our bars tight. I mean, you want to check the torque specs on that, and then you're going to want to check every bolt on this thing, make sure it's all tightened properly. So we got the fender tight, just 2 bolts here, 1 down, there's 2 down here. Pretty self-explanatory. I used to work a long time ago in a bike shop, and you know, it was kind of a voluntary thing. I was a bike racer, and I guess when you had to, you know, you kind of swap out for parts and stuff like that. It wasn't really like a job. But every bike, when it comes, you know, if you don't buy it through a bike shop, which is a lot more expensive, you buy it when you get it something online like this, and that's how they get them. They come in a box just like that, and then they assemble them and they charge you. Back then it was $20. Now I'm sure it's $100 or more to assemble it. So you could take it down to a bike shop and have them assemble it too, if you wanted to do that. If they work on e-bikes, a lot of them are becoming more adaptive to working on e-bikes because they're becoming a thing. So the front wheel had this axle that was tied into that thing. All you do is just take this off of there. Make sure your spring, the outside of it, has a larger portion of the spring, and the smaller part goes in the inside, I believe. Put the axle on the wheel, put it back on. Pretty simple. I hope you can figure that out very easily. So other things you're going to want to do that you have to do on a bike assembly is raise your wheel up. Make sure the brakes aren't rubbing. Usually what I'll do is look at the caliper and make sure that the shoes are even on both sides. You just center them with a Allen wrench. This one seems to be pretty good, which is rare. They don't usually come like that. I'm not going to say yours is going to be like that. You don't know. So then the rear wheel, do the same thing. Make sure your brake works. And on this one here, we notice the chain is off, and that's a normal thing. Got to install the chain. Let's see. I think if you just rotate it backwards, probably all right. Depending on what gear it's in, whatever. Unless it's off back here too. So it's got to be on the derailleur. We may have to pedal it to get that to work. So let's just do that like this. And then the other thing you're going to have to do is adjust your derailleur. Again, this is normal bike assembly. If you've never bought a bike in a box, like from Walmart or something like that, that is what you normally have to do. And you need to go around and tighten everything, because they just assemble this. They don't make it so that you can just get on it. It's not RTR, ready to ride. It's ready to assemble and ride. So you got to double check everything. Adjust the derailleurs. Like I said, if you can't do that, you can always run by a bike shop, pay them a little bit of money, and they'll do it for you. Well, I got to show you some cool stuff that was in the package here. Again, bike lock. That's rad. That's just and it has a mount for it, so it's a mounted bike rack that comes with it. It comes with, check this out. If you can see that alarm. I don't know if I'll use any of this stuff, but that's pretty sick. It comes with an alarm. I mean, these guys are really serious. This Magicycle guys are just, you know, the guys, I got to tell you, the guys over there, really nice people. You can just tell that they're just very nice people that work there. I actually went to the warehouse to pick this up because I just said, you know, there's no sense. It's in let's see, Ontario, California, and since it's right there close by, it doesn't make sense to pay $100 or more to ship something from there, you know, a few miles away. So we got to put on the pedals. But I just, you know, there's a tool set in here. So I think, let's see if it has the right Allen wrenches and stuff to put this thing together. I think it does. So there's a tool set in there. There you go. You got all the tools you need to actually put the bike together yourself if you don't have any. Just a little bit of ingenuity, some time, and, you know, use your brain. And you can probably do it and do all the stuff that I've done. It's really, I haven't seen anything difficult to do at all for me. But then again, you know, if you're totally, absolutely noob, it's like, you might want to go to a bike shop. All right, so the pedals got to go on. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. No, it's actually, you got to remember, one of these is a left-hand thread and one's a right-hand thread. So this one, if I remember right, is the right one, or maybe it's not. Looks like it's not. Been a while since I've done an assembly. So this is the left-hand thread side. It goes lefty tighty, righty loosey. Okay, and then we got to tighten that up. Put the other one on. It's that simple. Well, I'm pretty impressed. I was pretty much thinking that the derailleur was going to be out of sync, and it is not. So it actually works good right where it's set. So it goes all the way to first gear, and then click it once, it goes to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or whatever that is. They get right 7 speed, I know. So 6. Oh, they got one more. And then 7. Okay. Looks like a pretty nice cassette. Shimano Altus. I think that's an upgrade over my other bike. It says Shimano, but it's not as good as this one, and it makes a difference. This thing shifts really good. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you right now. It looks like to me like they used a decent derailleur set on this. There's a lot of good things about this bike. Let's talk about them real quick. And one of them you might notice, and before you bought it, and it's a 52 volt bike. Let's talk about that for a second, and why is that so much better than the 36 or 48? Is because range is calculated by your amp hours of your battery. So this one's, I think, 15 something amp hours. I think maybe 15 and a half amp hours, which is pretty good size battery at 52 volts. So the way I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I haven't looked this up to make sure. Somebody will comment if I'm wrong for sure. Check those comments. But it's 52 volts times amps equals running watts. So volts times amps equals running watts. So if you have a higher voltage, okay, the higher the voltage with the same amount of amps is going to give you more running watts. Okay, so this is a 750 watt bike. Okay, and it doesn't mean that you're using 750 watts. That means how much power it's capable of juicing for power when you need it. So that doesn't make that much difference as far as your distance that you can get out of it. What makes the difference in the distance is the volts and the amp hours of the battery. So if it's a higher voltage, so if it was, let's say there was a 36 or 48, you times that times 15 amp hours, and you're going to come up with a much less number when it comes to running watts. So that's a key thing why this bike is a really good value. This bike is inexpensive for something with all of that. The other things that this bike is for, this bike is really designed as your daily driver. It could replace a car. You could use this as a commuter because it's got really good range because of those things, because of 52 volts and 15 and a half amp hours, as I remember right. Now, the other thing it has for riding on the streets is it has front suspension. So if you're on a rough road, that'll be nice. Carrying something, whatever, phone on here, it's not going to fall off as easy if you've got the phone carrier. It does come with one. I mean, look at that. That is amazing. It comes with all the accessories you need pretty much to get around. It also comes with a bike rack. Huge, huge thing. I can tell you, I have another e-bike. It's a very lightweight bike. It's designed to fold up and take with you places. It's a different need than this one is. This is a commuter. You could put anything back here and strap it down. It comes with straps already on it. I mean, I don't know how long they're going to last in the sun, but it does come with them, and it has bars to use additional ones if you need to. It comes with, like I said, this. You also have your cyclometer, which we haven't turned on yet, but it does have it. So, and it also has a light. Another key thing when you're riding, and you'll find, yeah, you can get away with no tail light, but man, at nighttime, I can't tell you how many times I've been riding my other e-bikes and I wish I had a headlight. Wow, look at this. I just noticed this. It has preload settings for your front suspension too. So you can kind of dial it in by setting it, or it also has a lock here to lock it so that it's not on or off. So you can turn it off, turn off the suspension, run it rigid, but you can also set your preload. So that is really cool. Again, I mean, it comes with a hat. That's a plus. And I got to tell you, this thing, the design of it is just cool looking. It definitely looks like an e-bike because it's got the battery, the Magicycle on there and everything. But, it's got a really sleek looking design. Nice looking welds as far as this is an aluminum frame. So they try and keep it as light as possible, but it is heavy because it's a commuter bike. It's not a folder. It's not something you're going to fold up and throw in your car. This is a commuter bike. This is something you want to use to go back and forth to work, go to the store. And with the gas prices right now, hello, I mean, One of these things will pay for itself in a couple of months. The other thing I notice on here is it has metal pedals. Some of them come plastic. So you know what, you don't know what you're getting on a lot of these things until you get it. Either metal, aluminum pedals, or whatever they are. They might be almost aluminum. You know it is. But you know, it comes with a big battery, 52 volts. Man, you know, suspension. This thing is a Cadillac bike for the price that they're charging. You know, if you want to check that out, make sure you check the link in the description and see what the price is today. It may be different than when I'm doing the video, so we're not going to talk about price in the video. Well, the only thing I haven't done is set the seat height and install this thing here. That's pretty self-explanatory. There you got Velcro. I think I can do that off camera. But the seat, again, is just this thing here. You can lift it up. I need it nice and high. And there's a little wing nut over here to tighten it up so that it's nice and snug. I'm tightening it and I feel it's not snug enough. There's like a little thumb screw over here. You want to make sure it's straight. There's nothing worse than a crooked seat. And then get it up nice and high for me. When you're riding a bike, if you didn't know this, well, I might have it a little bit high. Ooh, it is. When you're riding a bike, your leg should be, let's just show you guys how to fit yourself a little bit if you don't know. Maybe you haven't ridden in one in a long time. Your leg should be about like mine is right now, where when it's all the way down, it should have some bend to it, not totally straight, but be pretty well set. I might have to raise the bars up. They're a little low for me, but it's still, I mean, actually I could ride this the way it is right now. I'd be comfortable. I kind of like my bars a little low so I can lean over. Again, I'm an old school road bike racer, and those are things I like. Another thing you can do is you can loosen up here and slide the seat back a little bit, which I still might need to do to get that to fit you better. Those are all things that you should be considering and doing yourself. Make sure you fit the bike, and then you'll, of course, you know, the whole thing is look, you know, you get one of these things because it's uses no gas, but man, it is really nice to get some exercise. And I'll tell you, one of the things I found out on e-bikes is you think, oh yeah, you're riding it, and there's so little effort to ride it. It's so easy to pedal it that you don't even realize you're getting exercise until you get off of it. And I get off of it, I feel my legs, and my legs are just like pumped, okay? And I didn't even really know I was working out. So if you're an older guy, having an e-bike is a great way to get yourself back in shape to ride a regular bike. So anyway, we'll do some riding on this thing, check it out, and I'll bring you back in. I have to cut the keys off. The keys came right here. I don't know if you can see up there. I don't think you can. Probably not in the frame. You know, yeah, it is. Then I'll get those keys and put them in the ignition. Let's go for a ride. I just want to throw in here a couple more things for you guys. I got the headline on. One of the things that I noticed is this has a pretty narrow set of bars. So the benefit of that is that if you're splitting lanes between cars, you know, that's cool. This is a commuter bike. This is one, you know, on a bike, if you're driving it back and forth to work, you can go through little alleys, you can go through between cars. There's so many things you can do on one of these things that you can't do in your car. So yeah, it might take you a little longer to get there, but you're going to make up for it some other ways too. It also has a quick charger. So the thing, it said 3 to 5 hours to get fully charged. You know, my other e-bikes are 8 hours minimum to get charged, 8 to 12 hours. So that is a quick charger at 3 to 5 hours. So if you didn't know that, just figured I'd throw this in there real quick. There's a lot of really cool things, and with this on, you have like here, inside here, this thing goes around the bars here, one end of it, so that it won't fall back at you or slide down or flip upside down or whatever. I don't know. Do you think that charger would fit in here? Maybe. I'm not sure if it's designed to fit in there, but I know the cord would fit. So if you wanted to take your charger with you, I don't know if it would quite fit in here really, but you could strap it on the back here because you got these things, okay? You could strap the charger on the back and put the cord inside here. I don't know if that's how it's designed. Maybe check the instructions. You know, the funny thing is I found the instructions, of course, but they're sitting right over here. Right here. It might be a good idea to read them. I'll save that for dinner time or something. Oh, and real quick, let's check out the cyclometer. That is badass right there. Yeah. Shows the battery at 72% now. It was at like 55, and that was like 15 minutes ago. So this thing's charging. It is just ramping the charge in there really quick. I don't know what the 19 is that time. You know, I don't know how to set that. I guess you do all this over here because you have your controls for it over here. What's that one? You guys tell me. Oh, odometer. What's that? Oh, see. Oh, speeds. What's the PAS? I'm guessing that that's like power. Seven different speeds. Okay, then you have this one. Also, the plus minus information is in the middle, and you have plus and minus, so you can change into whatever you want. And then the turn it on and off is right here. So on the top, if you could even see that. And you can hear there's a cooling fan in there because it's just ramping the charge in that battery. All right, I'll bring you guys back in again. Sorry about the little pieces, but it's a pretty exciting bike. This thing is really cool, man. I'm going to tell you, I've seen a lot of e-bikes, and this one's one of the best ones I've seen in the price range that it's in. It's pretty nice. So anyway, check it out. Remember, check those links. See the price, see if you're interested, and you know, see your comment if you think it's high or you think it's too low or you think it's a good deal. Put in the comments below. All right, first I got to tell you guys, this thing is fast. I've got a 500 watt and this is 750. There's a huge difference. In 52 volt. It's definitely, I mean, for an e-bike, if you've ever ridden an e-bike, you're gonna know that this one's fast when you ride it. So I just do a real light pedal myself, and it has, so I'm putting it on like 3 assists. So it's really got some cool, so you can, pedaling is pedal assist, really, you can dial it in really nice, unlike my other one. So this one's really, you can make it so you can just do a nice easy pedal and get a little more range out of it. Man, this thing just, and it's so smooth because it has the suspension, the front suspension and the big tires. Now we're going uphill right here. I don't know what percentage grade this is, but it's pretty good uphill. And I'm just giving it a really light pedal right now. Just a really light pedal, and it's just, and I'm going to try it with just the gas now. I'm going to let off the pedals, and I'm going to open this thing up all the way, and we're going uphill. I don't know if you can see that speedometer, hopefully you can. 19 miles an hour uphill. My 500 watt would never go this fast uphill. Now we're doing 20 uphill, no pedaling. But I always suggest you guys to pedal, a little pedal, get some exercise. Just give it a little mosey pedal, not giving it much. I'm not pushing on the pedals very much at all. Just kind of moving my legs. It'll exercise. Super smooth, man. This thing's just amazing. It's like riding a Cadillac. Yeah, this is uphill, pretty steep hill. You notice when you go uphill, what happens is you'll see the percentage go down really quickly, and then when you level off, it'll start to go back up. Because when it's going uphill, it's really pushing a lot on that battery. So hills can change your range a lot. Just keep that in mind on an e-bike. If you're on flat ground, that's when you'll get that really long range. When you're going up in hills, it's going to eat it up. On any e-bike, it doesn't matter which one you get, but they're still amazing. Really light pedal. I'm barely pushing on the pedals, but I want to get a little bit of exercise, so I like to get a little bit of exercise. That's the whole point of having one of these, right? Now we're going to go up even steeper, so I'm going to downshift a little bit, let the e-bike do its job. This is a very steep hill. That 750 watt motor with a little bit of pedal assist. On number 3 out of 7 is making it just really easy for me to climb this hill. No effort. But I'm getting a little bit of exercise. Nice little 16, 17 mile an hour cruise. Let's crank it up. Oh yeah, to 7. Oh! Woo! 22. About 22 miles an hour where it tops out at 7. I like it on about 3 though. It's a nice cruising speed. All right, let's take a look here. Oop, touch the gas. All right, so this thing here is a really amazing e-bike right here. I'm going to tell you, this thing it rides like a Cadillac. The 52 volts really, and the bigger battery in it. The thing I will tell you is, if you don't have one, if you've never, I've seen some comments that makes me think they've never ridden one. It's already down at 66%. It was at 100, and I haven't gone very far, but it's because I'm going uphill in the mountains up here. So if you're going up and down hills, you're gonna burn up power. Another thing that I was gonna tell you is, I put this thing on the charger, and it was at, what was it at, like 50% or something, 50 something percent. It went from there to 100 in like an hour. That is amazing. That's amazing. That's a huge feature. So if you don't know that, that's a huge thing. This cool blue is kind of iridescent. You can see the blue in it only in the sun. It looks really black, but it's called blue. It's got a pearl in it. So yeah, definitely one of the best ones I've seen. you know, in this price range, middle of the road, and it's a huge improvement from the cheaper ones. I don't have the headlight on, I don't think. No, yeah, it's just not on. Haven't tried that yet. I don't know, maybe we'll make another video for that, I'm not sure. But anyway, I would say this thing's definitely something to consider. If you were looking at one of these e-bikes, then I would consider this one here. Not regardless of whether, you know, I have anything to do with Magic bike or not, I would say this is really a nice e-bike and competitive price, and has all the features, the rack, the headlight, the shocks in the front, really make it smooth. The battery's easy to remove, so you can actually remove the battery by just turning a key. It comes right out of there, pops right out of there, and you can charge it somewhere else, so you don't have to have it on the bike. So there's that benefit. So like if you're somewhere, like let's say you're on the road somewhere and you got your charger with you, and let's say you go inside like a Starbucks or something like that, and you can plug in, you could plug in your battery and charge it, sit on your laptop. In an hour, you could probably pick up quite a bit of charge and be back on the road. There isn't another e-bike that I've seen like that. Most of them are really a long time to charge, especially in this price range. So those are all things to consider. And I'm gonna say that this thing, oh, another person said something about the brakes. Obviously they've never ridden with smaller brakes. My other e-bike has smaller brakes than this, and this thing stops 1,000 times better than that one did. So somebody said something about improving the e-brake, the brakes on it. I think they're pretty darn good. They're really good actually compared to the other ones I've ridden. So that pretty much covers everything. I mean, I really don't see any downside to this bike, other than it will use up the battery if you go uphill, which that's pretty much every e-bike right there, guys. That's it. Every e-bike's gonna have that same problem. And I don't see anything, you know, the only thing maybe is, does it have a tail light? Is that, oh, it does. Holy crap, it even has a tail light. I just need to plug it in. There it is. I just need to plug that in. I didn't even know it had a tail light. And it does. Looks like. Or is it, no, it's wired, or, oh, there it is. There's a little plug. It needs to be plugged in. Right there. I'll plug that in, try the lights out later. All right, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Let's man, I'm gonna tell you, check that link down below, see the pricing on this thing. I really think it's definitely a buy. I can't see any downside to it. If somebody sees a downside in it, put it in the comments, you know. We'd love to see, and I really don't see anything. Oh, maybe the only downside is the big chain ring is kind of small. I wish it had a little more top end power speed. It's only like maybe a 52 or a 42 in the front. Man, my other one has a 54 chain ring, so it really you can pedal it really hard when you're riding it, and it would pick up speed. The only benefit to having a smaller one is that if you run out of battery, it's gonna be a lot easier to ride. So that is the other side of that. So anyway, I'll talk to you in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe.